Hello again, YouTubers! On with SpongeBob 101, back here again on the SpongeBob channel with our SpongeBob SquarePants episode 193 episode review video. And in this video, we'll be discussing a little bit about the two latest SpongeBob episodes: Sanctuary, which premiered on October 16th, and What's Eating Patrick, which premiered on October 2nd, I believe. So, these two episodes were pretty unusual in the sense that they weren't like the regular SpongeBob episodes. They had two different, very, very different forms of storylines, and yeah. So we'll talk about a little bit about each episode first, and then give you guys a total overview, and then we'll show you some screenshots, and that's the end of the video. So let's aim for 8 minutes. Alright, so Sanctuary episode 193A. So how does this episode go? Basically, SpongeBob and Patrick, or no, not really, SpongeBob and Gary, they find a stray snail lying around, and SpongeBob brings it back to the pineapple to nurse it back to health, and he names it Senior Poopus. Pretty much because it's an old snail. But yeah, and the snails keep coming, and by the snails keep coming, I mean that Patrick inadvertently invites snails to SpongeBob, to stay with SpongeBob, because basically he's telling every person in Bikini Bottom that, you know, SpongeBob is the snail guy, so SpongeBob's going to take care of all the snails. And he ends up with 258 snails. So basically, SpongeBob goes a little bit nuts, and yeah. And he abandons his post at the Krusty Krab, and basically, the entire story is how Squidward has his allergies, and he's really furious because SpongeBob refuses to listen to Squidward because he's gone, he's gone nuts. And so yeah, and how it ends out is the Bikini Bottom Snail Care Center. I can't really remember what's it called really. Yeah, the guy from the Snail Center, Bob. I'm pretty sure his first name is Bob. Yeah, he comes and explains to SpongeBob how the snails actually escaped due to well, they escaped, okay? They escaped from his snail care center. So he's come to take them back. And obviously he takes them back, but here's the thing. Patrick actually dressed himself up as a snail to, get some attention from SpongeBob, but he ended up being tucked into a whole living room of snails and a crazy SpongeBob. So basically, I mean, the entire length of this episode, I only felt that 2 minutes, or around 2 to 3 minutes, was actually worth watching. The entire part about how SpongeBob went nuts and Squidward was complaining about his allergies and just became more puffy and more allergic, alright, was just weird. I think the story was terrible. In fact, this has got to be one of the worst SpongeBob episodes ever put out. I mean, I'm just saying that. I don't have any problem with the animation, alright? I'm fine with the animation. I'm fine with, the music and so on. The only problem I have with this episode is, really, I didn't get the story. I don't understand why anyone would put this kind of story in a show like SpongeBob. It doesn't fit, and it doesn't. I mean, can you imagine, getting 5-year-old kids to watch this? It's just okay. I mean, this is the first time I'm really gonna criticize the SpongeBob episode as disgusting, because SpongeBob was utterly disgusting in this episode. So it was really bad. I really didn't like the storyline, but what do you guys think? Comment in the box below, alright? So, overall rating for this episode out of 5, I give it a 1.5 out of 5. Most critical rating, 1 out of 5. And yeah, Sanctuary was a very disappointing episode, and hopefully, the future episodes will have decent storylines. So now, here's where the contrast sets in. What's Eating Patrick? The second part of 193, so it's 193B. It premiered 2 weeks earlier, and if you would have watched my first take video about the episode about 3-4 weeks ago, yeah, I really talked about how I really, really enjoyed that episode. And I'm pretty sure everyone else can agree with me. What's Eating Patrick was good. But Sanctuary, you gotta be kidding me, right? So, here's about a little bit more about What's Eating Patrick. So, What's Eating Patrick? It's Founders Day. The Krusty Krab is holding the annual Krabby Patty eating contest. Mr. Krabs had to grease a few wheels, but he got it. And yeah, basically, Mr. Krabs needs someone to face off against defending champion Oswald McNulty, who technically only needs to eat one Krabby Patty to win. So what happens in this episode is Mr. Krabs searches for someone who's dumb and hungry, and yeah, he finds his dumb and hungry guy. And who else other than Patrick, right? So Mr. Krabs starts to train Patrick, getting him to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat more Krabby Patties. Yeah, alright, so, but one thing I really enjoyed about this episode is how they infuse the elements of, cuteness, but, the journey to achieve something great. And I think that, this episode really did a really good job in sending out a really positive message of, no matter how dumb and hungry you may be, you still can win a Krabby Patty eating contest. You can win any contest. So, aside from the meaning of this episode, which I really appreciated the writers for doing so, I really liked the music, particularly the one where Patrick started training to eat without taste, and the point where Patrick was pointing out the centerfield. Oh no, he was pointing at a little boy with a hurt foot in the Krusty Krab dining area at the end of the episode. So those two pieces of music were really superb, and I think it really gave the episode a really nice feel, a really nice flow. So, how does it end out? Of course, they almost get to a tie, but then SpongeBob reminds Patrick of taste. So Patrick manages to get one more Krabby Patty to win down his throat, and of course he does win, right? But obviously, Patrick is a little bit too big-sized, and he launches the patty belt after being awarded it, and it accidentally hits the little boy's other foot. So, yeah, I mean, oh well. So, I really enjoyed What's Eating Patrick. I felt Sanctuary was really disgusting. I think this has to be the most polarized SpongeBob episode to date. It's definitely the most polarized in season 9, that's for sure. But I can't really think of any episode that can actually be worse off than Sanctuary. Personally, I really can't think of it. So for What's Eating Patrick, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Most critical, sorry, not 5 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5. And most critical rating, 4 out of 5. What's Eating Patrick was a great episode. And if you haven't watched it, by the way, make sure you watch it. It's really, really nice. Alright, so that's all for this episode review video. Post your comments in the box below. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, favorite, comment, etc. Next up, we actually have a end of the month special for you guys. We have issue number 49 of SpongeBob Comics, which I'll actually be recording right after this. So, yeah, just to make more use of the recording time. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode review video. If you want to check out our other episode review videos, link to the playlist is in the description box below, so check it out. Thank you guys for watching. Keep it right here on Ultimate SpongeBob 101. I'll see you guys next time.